We still need to talk about the Dutch elections. And before we get started, please do some engagement or else nobody's gonna see. This comment proves my point about trying to center immigration at the center of the election, when in reality, things like housing, like this commenter's trying to make, is not the problem of immigrants. You could literally Aryanize the entire property, remove every non-Dutch person, and you would still have the same issues of not enough homes being built. And we're not talking about 1,000 homes or 10,000 homes, we're talking hundreds of thousands of homes that need to be either built or renovated to be up to modern high standards. And very few parties are advocating for any solution to that fundamental issue of not enough homes physically existing. And even though I was hard on them in the first video, the GroenLinks PvdA has actually quite a strong platform around social housing and increasing the housing stock in the country, which will have a downward pressure on the total cost of rent and housing for everyone. And the need to build housing is just one of a lot of major issues. The other massive issue that has now taken hold of the election is healthcare, because a couple of the parties, including what is presented as the Progressive Party of D66, have some wild ideas about what to do with the healthcare system in the Netherlands. There is a big problem in the Netherlands and all the other NATO countries in that they have to dramatically increase their defensive spending, which means a lot of political parties have a lot of different ideas of how to achieve this, including whether you should raise taxes or just destroy the welfare state. Now, in the Netherlands, there is a social insurance scheme for healthcare, where you have a basic healthcare insurance package that covers a wide variety of different healthcare. Importantly, it doesn't cover everything. One of the important things that's missing is dentistry, but it also has a deductible, like an old school style system. This deductible is not wildly high like American high. It's only 385 euros per year, but even this few hundred euros as an upfront cost to accessing healthcare means a lot of people just choose not to. And that causes longer healthcare problems in the longer run. And that means more increased costs to the state in the long run because people are not getting care early on. Now, there were big plans to have this deductible, but unfortunately, every single party except for two, the BBB and the GroenLinks PvdA, decided they wanted to instead raise the cost of healthcare. VVD, CDA, JA21, and Volt all want to increase the deductible to 440 euros a year. Now we get to the real wild part of this, because the plan by the VVD and D66 would be to, as they have described it, locking down the treatments available on the basic healthcare plan. You're probably asking, what the fuck does that mean? And it is unfortunately very literal. They want to lock down the healthcare treatments that will be covered by the basic healthcare plan to what is available right now in 2025. So, you know, cure for cancer? Well, you better get yourself some private insurance. And like, of course, the right-wing party that's literally called the People's Party for Freedom and Democracy obviously doesn't care about freedom or democracy or people who are poor having healthcare. And also, you know, for the Dutch people, I could spend an entire hour talking about Dylan and just the wild stuff she posts on Twitter. But D66 tries to present themselves as like cool, hip progressives. But yeah, I don't think it's cool or hip or progressive to say only healthcare for the riches. Meanwhile, you have GroenLinks PvdA trying to expand the healthcare to also include dentistry and also lower the cost for everyone. It is absolutely wild that these two experiences, like American-style private healthcare, is standing at the same time as expanding it to make it cheaper and better for all. I also have to mention that the VVD was the only party's plan that was determined by the Central Planning Bureau to actually increase poverty by 2030, which I guess we have to applaud them for their open honesty about their fuck the poor position. But the reality that there is even a discussion about wrecking the healthcare system by mainstream parties in this way is a major change in European politics and Dutch politics as a whole. The idea was thought to be settled until a few days ago at the first debate, which really shows you why it is so important that young people and every single person goes out and votes. And unfortunately, you have to remember, you're not voting for the perfect society or utopia, you're voting for what kind of parties and strength you want in the coalition arrangement that's coming up. While I was super critical about GroenLinks PvdA, I would probably end up voting for them because it seems like the tactical decision to make, but it also is highly dependent on where you're living and what is happening in your local area. Because the choices are pretty stark. Some parties are offering deportations and more expensive healthcare, and other parties are offering lower cost healthcare and more housing. And when When we're talking about 150 seats, every 70,000 votes is another position in that parliament. That means every single vote counts, and it is going to be on the razor's edge with so many political parties and so many parties having many problems trying to cut through in the loud media environment that wants to hyper-focus again on migration instead of real issues affecting people: the cost of living, healthcare, housing. Thanks for watching. Go vote, join a trade union, join a political party. Thank you.